Oh,
Slight delay for the cemetery meeting. Waiting for people to show. If there's a pause.
it should be.
There's an end.
You want to give me the agenda? It's already recorded. Okay.
Yeah, the owl thing was set for 8 o'clock for some reason.
Jeez.
And so it wasn't in bold, so I touched it to hopefully bring it to life and get back to the top and it started, so
Okay.
that's okay.
Dead airspace, right?
Yeah.
Shuffling papers.
Bring my phone. Oh, Mike, didn't forget.
Unlike them to do that. But I almost grabbed your phone. Yeah, I can text him. Or call him. Maybe I'll just call him.
Probably tending to those hostas.
Yeah.
Hot up here.
Yeah. Sticky. Okay. No. Hi, Mike. We're at the town hall. I'm wondering if you're gonna join us for the meeting. It's 10:05. We can't have the meeting if he doesn't come, right?
That's right. But didn't he know that it was at 10:15 instead of?
Oh,
8:05?
maybe. We
So
never
he's-
confirmed that. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you got that message.
Yeah,
When you add on,
yeah,
sometimes it doesn't show everything out and you have to look for it. Maybe you didn't.
yeah. I bet he's thinking 10:15.
That's all right. The owl will just have to put up with us.
Well, sometimes events that end at 10 don't end at 10.
True.
What are you up to today? Gardening?
Well, I've got another meeting, so I'm gonna, um. Do some stuff outside, but not major heavy duty. I did that yesterday and I couldn't move last night.
Oh, I was the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was on my hands and knees all
all
day.
day, yep,
yeah, I finished planting the garden,
Yeah,
so
it's-
I was pretty beat.
yeah, that's what I did too. I got some, I'll plant some bean seeds and
Yeah,
now do the flowers, but
we gotta stick our fence up around it today, you know. We've already had a couple of rabbits snooping around, but between when I started planting, I had a deer in there, so,
yeah,
you know, they know it's there.
yeah,
Not to mention your dog.
Yeah, the dog.
not yours.
She,
Well, she got out
she
last night.
got out.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
she can go down through the laundry room and
Yeah.
down the basement stairs, and if the back
Yep.
garage door
Open,
is
yeah.
open, she gets out. He was out there, she ran through it.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
I had just planted, the
Yeah.
day before I planted all the squash and
Yeah.
hills and everything.
Yeah,
So I'm getting ready to, I had one or two more things to plant and then I was done and I was getting really hot. It was late yesterday.
Cause it was hot.
And all of a sudden I turned around, looked and she was laying there in the grass looking at me. And it's like, how'd you get out here? And then I yelled at Mary and she was out front watering some flowers or something and talking on the phone to one of our daughters and so I figured, well, I'll go start up the wheeler, because when I do that, then
Yeah.
she wants to run with
Right,
it.
yeah,
The minute I started, back
There-
over the garden she went, so she ripped up the rest of it.
There he
There
is.
he-
Hey there.
It's yoga today.
yeah, so.
It's
you-
over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, they got done, yeah.
Yeah, they're all right.
They want you to yoga.
How do you have a yoga expert in my family? I get time my shoes.
Okay, we will call to order the meeting of the North Hero Cemetery Commission, a special meeting, in-person meeting. On Thursday, June 5th, 2025 at 10:06. We had a little bit of a late start because there was a meeting hall scheduling conflict. We just had to wait for the previous occupants to vacate. Adjustments to the agenda. I just wanted to let you know I processed a burial this morning for Doris Clark. And on the burial form, it was listed that she was a veteran. But
She was a what? Wasn't
She was
like an
a-
Army nurse.
she was a
yeah,
nurse,
okay.
yeah.
He didn't know,
Oh, didn't,
Paul didn't know which branch, so it wasn't filled out, but how do you get that? Do you get that out of Pontum or?
how do we find out? Or
No, how do you add that to your list?
Susan, Mike and I'll put it on our grand list of.
Okay,
people.
all right.
But how do you usually get it?
I would like it done when they're buried. You know, when the funeral happens, it should be like their name and the veteran status.
Yep,
You know, that would be nice if we had a little, cause some people say, you know, like Dick Rose.
Yeah.
Who he was.
Yeah. Well, I'll
But that
find out
would-
what, I'll find out, cause I can.
Well, we
email
don't do that
Suzanne.
branch, we just.
No, you know, so it
just
doesn't
the
matter.
veteran
so as
status.
long as she was a veteran,
Except.
You
for
would like to have
the
it,
paper-
yes, yeah,
If somebody went back. and they were
yes. yeah,
Looking,
okay.
Mhm.
they might wanna know.
you
yeah.
can do a report in Pontum, can't you, on veterans?
Yes,
So, when you get the burial, the veteran status is on there, yes or no. She can notify you or send you an
That
email.
would be nice. We
Yeah.
have some revolutionary
Yeah.
World War II, like Doug was post-World War
Yeah,
II, so
yeah.
he wasn't really.
Yeah,
okay, between the two of us, we'll
And I was thinking it would be nice to do, firemen that have served in North Hero,
Mm,
you know, like,
mm,
it's not big deal, well, it's not a big deal to add, well, might be a lot more.
well,
firemen.
might be.
I don't know, but you know, if someone's
so,
had a, just like Michael.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
well, it's nothing wrong with, putting I mean,
Flag.
we could put a flag, I mean, we're buying the flags or
Yeah.
getting the flags donated anyway, so.
And
you
I'm
know,
sure the Masons wouldn't mind another 40 flags or whatever.
yeah.
It'd be nice to just have that list too, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
Could you do a list and just send it to Mike, just to reinforce his
For
list?
veterans, but-
For veterans,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
she'll email you something.
And then,
And then at least you can bash that up against what you show and, you know, if you pick up a couple, that might be good.
cause Dwayne, he has a plaque
Yeah,
and so does somebody in the Jerusalem.
so, yeah.
Yeah. But I bet there's plenty of them that have gone that maybe you didn't get the notice.
But like Carlton Durham already has a flag, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't do one. thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
like that idea.
Any other adjustments to the agenda we need to consider? Okay, public comment, since no one's here or is ever here. Let's get on. Old
We're doing
business,
such a good job.
old business, we
Get
have
that in the
to
minutes.
accept the minutes of the May 27th, 2025 meeting. You should all have a copy of it.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from May 27th, 2025.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed to accept the minutes. New business, discussion of new computer for the cemetery commission, and then vote on a budget addition to year 2025 for computer upgrade. I talked to Corinne earlier, these two forms here, the one without the first one without any writing in the margin is for a desktop. And that is $996. And then there's
All the other stuff.
yeah, there's a $600 setup for that and then shipping. So the total on that came to 1,610. If she were to get a laptop, the laptop is 1025. There's necessary $113 associated with that level of laptop. And then there's a possible docking station. They have docking stations here, but with the new security setup, they don't know if they'll be able to use those yet. So that additional 225 would come into play if it turns out that they would need it. So the end result is, worst scenario, that comes to $1,900. So it's approximately $300 more for a laptop. I talked to Corinne this morning and we don't know how the software in the cloud business and all of that. The only software that they have presently that is posing a problem is the Pontum. And the Pontum at this point won't be able to sit in the cloud, I guess. And so Mary and I were talking, she can get a laptop and we will just make it the policy that it doesn't leave the building, and that way if
This building,
this building, and that way if, let's say, when Mary's not around, somebody has a Pontum question, either Corinne or Lisa can go in there and access it. Because that software, if it isn't available on that machine, wouldn't be available in the cloud at this point. They're still working on it. She couldn't give me a sure thing, because it's all kind of, you know, up in the air depending on if the software people can work with Pontum to get it so it goes on the cloud. That's the way they would like it. And if she has the laptop and they can achieve that, then she would be able to take the laptop home and they would be able to access it through the cloud here if a question came. If that can't be arranged, then the machine will have to stay here. And that would be my point. I don't want to leave a single point of failure. So if Mary took it home and then something happened to it, they wouldn't have it. So,
What about an external hard drive?
I don't know on that. The whole thing is kind of up in the air depending on what it goes.
Well, it seems like we should have a backup no matter whether the computer stays here or not,
Well, it is back.
Well,
It
It
is.
is backed up,
but not to the cloud.
but not, well,
It may not be to the cloud.
May not.
no, it's backed up here
Okay,
with the hardware they've had.
With the server,
Yeah.
but the server is going.
Right,
And that's the reason for all of this. The cloud basically is a server somewhere, just not on site.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
And,
so
Corinne felt like it could be achieved. It's just, they're
to-
trying to
to
figure it out. And there are different ways they can do it.
for either the same price or possibly around $300 more. The laptop will give you that option. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're typing on a laptop or a desktop. It will remain here until they can achieve solution to putting it on the cloud. If they can't, it'll remain in here. You know, I wouldn't want her to remove it from the
Right,
building.
right.
Because the most important thing is that it's accessible to the town office.
Right.
So, in view of that, I mean, that's pretty much all that I know at this.
Is the 225 in this,
Yeah,
that if we have to have the docking?
yeah, if we have to have the docking, it comes to 1,958, whereas the, desktop comes to 1,610, so.
My copy got cut off on this. Did you get it?
Sort
Can you
of,
read it?
no, no, it's not
Here.
full out, I can see 19,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all right, it's all good.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we, budget up to $2,500 for, a new laptop, which will account for maybe some extras as they go through the process.
I second that.
All in favor?
I,
So we will add that to the budget
Yeah.
and hopefully that will suffice. Any other items to discuss? Okay, so I guess we're waiting on Jimmy to get sworn in and to
Yeah.
do some of the
Okay.
things.
Corinne wrote.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's between asking him to dig a grave and getting that email, he said he's probably gonna quit.
Yeah, that's what I told Corinne. I hope you didn't scare him off.
Yeah.
I felt like adding to that, saying, this is the worst.
Yeah.
This is the worst part about it,
Yeah.
getting sworn in and having to sit,
Sitting all that stuff about.
having to sit through the open meeting business. So at this time, at approximately 10:15, I will adjourn the meeting of the North Hero Cemetery Commission.
I have to back and continue the transport Mark mode.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Oh, no.
sorry that we had